The pick is in.
Penguins have made a selection in the 2025 NHL Draft. I'm Gil Martin. I'm joined right now by Hunter Hodes of Locked On Penguins, and Pittsburgh has selected Bill Zonnon with the 22nd pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. And Hunter, what does Zonnon bring to the table first and foremost?
First, he's a big dude, and he's really tough to move around the front of the net. That's the biggest thing that really stands out on the tape, is that he goes to the net, and once he gets there, good luck moving him. He plays like a rat right around that area, loves going to the greasy area of the ice, getting a lot of those garbage goals. He also has a pretty underrated release when he wants to use it from distance. I like it. He has some sneaky good playmaking ability as well. Could use some work on his skating, at least from the tape that I have watched. But I'm definitely a fan of this one. I didn't think they would take him there, but he's still someone that I'm totally good with.
What is the thing he needs to work on most to get to the NHL?
I think, again, like the skating is a little bit for me. I think if he could work on that first burst and just his overall mechanics, I think could use a little bit of work. But, the release is there. I want him to maybe use it a little bit more from distance. The ratty element is there. The size that the Penguins have said multiple times going into the draft, they want to get bigger. So you have that there as well. And again, he's also a fairly decent playmaker, and I think that's only getting better with his game too. I think if he can keep improving that, that's only good news moving forward. But I think the biggest thing for me is just his skating. It's a little bit awkward, I think. So that's the main thing I want him to work on.
How far away do you think he is from being NHL ready?
Probably a few years. Like a lot of these picks in this range, even for example, Ben Kendall, where I feel like that's maybe a little bit of a release, but I also felt like Ben Kendall was one of the most underrated prospects in this draft, in my opinion. I still think he's probably a couple years away as well. I would throw Zonnon in there as well, maybe 2-3 years, something around those lines. Again, they're still very much building for the future with this rebuild.
And where do you think Zonnon fits in the lineup once he reaches the NHL?
Probably in the top 9 if everything goes correctly, I would say, in that area. I don't think this is going to be, a fourth liner or anything like that, but I think, top 9, middle 6, top 6, somewhere in that ballpark if everything works out right.
You mentioned the rebuild. This is something that's going to take some time. How does Zonnon help expedite that process?
Well, we still have to see. I'm excited for him to hopefully be at development camp next week. They had 3 first-round picks this year, even though they had 2 at the time. They take Ben Kendall. It looks like they're going to make the next pick at 12, and there's plenty of good players there. Victor Eklund, Kajon Aitchison. They decide to trade down, and then they trade up to get another player a bit later in the draft. So they're trying to hit on as many players as possible, and obviously they're hoping that Zonnon is one of them. But I like a lot of his game. I think fans are going to fall in love with him quite a bit with the way he plays.
Yeah, sounds like he's got a fan-friendly style for sure.
Yes.
So that's definitely.
They keep saying, Gil, they want to be tougher to play against. They want to be a bit nastier. They want to be a bit bigger. Bill Zonnon fits all of those bills, and he has scoring touch. Like, you look at the numbers this year for him in the Q, and I know the Q, there's a lot of scoring, 28 goals, 83 points in 64 games. He's going to be in the Q again next year. Again, he was great in the playoffs too. When there was a big moment, he was right there. 8 goals, 16 points in 13 games. So that's another big part. He was fairly clutch for his team this year.
Gotta like someone who is clutch. For continued coverage of Bill Zonnon, check out Locked On Penguins on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.